Welcome again, other Toastmasters and our special guest tonight. To begin my speech, I'd like you all to join me in imagining a situation. So please imagine that you're attending a conference related to your job. You're likely wearing uncomfortable clothes, probably a touch fancier than you normally wear. You've sat in a room with no natural light for an entire day listening to speaker after speaker. Although their content could have been interesting, you're likely feeling exhausted from absorbing so much of the content. Because of this exhaustion, you've likely consumed way too much caffeine and snacks in an attempt to keep yourself awake. So at this moment, you think the day is almost over when you look at the agenda and you notice something terrifying. There are two words: networking time. Gosh darn it. I know my default is I can leave and go hide in my hotel room, or maybe I can even think of a family emergency and get me out of this awkward situation. All right, so jokes aside, ending the imagination, I would like to tell you what I would do in this situation. So I tend to grit my teeth and begin to awkwardly stumble through this networking process of trying to create relationships with strangers. And there was one particular conference I was at. You know what? I had a very positive experience. And that positive experience was I was talking to an individual when they grabbed their wallet, opened up their wallet, and handed me this. Now, what's written on the piece of paper isn't important. But at this moment, when I got their contact card, I had an instant realization. Networking can be very important and powerful. And here's my theory why. When I started networking, I was even more young and even more naive than I am today. I did not have any formal education and very little job experience. So at the time, I hoped to eventually gain all of those things for myself. I learned that networking was a way to fast track or essentially cheat the system. By connecting with someone and getting their contact details, I could essentially have access to their education, their career, and their life experience. Wow, that's a pretty good life hack. So now, whenever I'm presented with the opportunity to network, I look at it as an exciting challenge to collect as many contacts as I possibly can. So it's important to get the contacts, but how do you actually get there? So it's really not advised for you to go snooping through people's pockets and wallets and just pulling these out on your own. So I have a few tricks that I've learned from other people that I would like to share with you. And my three top rules are: have humility, repeat people's names, and ask questions, more questions, and then even more questions. First off, having humility, I think, makes you very approachable. So I will often admit that I don't know something or tell a funny story, and then I find people automatically warm up and are more willing to engage with you. It's been Dale Carnegie's book I've read, and I recommend it to everyone else. He says the most beautiful sound to everyone's ear is the sound of their own name. And I think if you can use that trick, people, again, are more likely to engage with you. And lastly, questions, questions, questions. And sometimes I find that I'm completely lost on what I can ask a question, and I just look at them. So Tina, your headphones look very good at canceling outside noise. Is that the case? Allison, is your hair naturally curly, or how do you get it that way? And you can essentially pick anything. Karen, the painting behind you, I absolutely love and would like to know where I could get that for my own house. All right, so I'm going to switch to another situation. Approximately 3 months ago, I was headed to our Pacesetters outdoor meeting at Fish Creek Park. As we both live in Okotoks, I was carpooling with our VP of Education, Allison Doff. We were discussing our summer plans when I mentioned I was going to attend a 2-day work conference in Kananaskis. I continued that I was excited to practice networking there in order to give my Toastmasters speech on it for my next pathway level, which I'm doing tonight. So I was expecting Allison to be a passive listener and encourage me, so I was a bit shocked when she posed a challenge for this conference. Hey, more work. She said I should network and go further to promote myself for a future speaking opportunity in my career, my job environment. So begrudgingly, I don't know if I showed this to her on my face, but I accepted Allison's challenge and prepared myself to have one of the most successful networking events I've ever had. I was feeling confident. I reminded myself of my rules to show humility, repeat people's names, and ask questions. I was just about to the bottom floor of the elevator when my phone rang. Oh darn, there was gonna be no networking experience for me. Just like every other event of 2020, COVID had ruined it for me. I had got notice that I had been in touch with a COVID positive contact and had to isolate immediately. So there, I can't actually tell you my most recent networking experience, but I do challenge myself and all of you listening to me tonight to look at networking experiences as very powerful tools. And as Helen Keller says, alone we can do so little, but together we can do so much.